Joining us now over the phone is political analyst Robert Oulds. Robert, thank you very much for joining us on this bulletin. Greek Finance Ministry has a meeting with eurozone leaders this coming Friday, as you know, with all the uncertainty in the eurozone after the Greeks' elections. How do you think it's going to pan out?
Well, the Germans are already saying that they do not want to change dramatically the bailout package terms that have been dictated to Greece. But of course, Mr. Tsipras and his Syriza party were elected with a clear mandate from the Greek people to be opposed to the EU-led austerity, which has caused such economic harm to Greece and left millions without jobs and many more in poverty. So really there's going to be a big showdown, but the European Union will have to give way. They will have to effectively write off more sections of the Greek debt and allow Mr. Tsipras to reinvigorate economic growth within Greece, rather than have this endless cycle of more cuts, which are actually creating an even worse debt burden within Greece. The debt has actually gone up as a result of the bailout package and the austerity measures, because there's been such economic harm, a 25% reduction in GDP and enormous unemployment, meaning they've found it even harder to pay back the debt. And Greece is now actually in a deflationary cycle. So there's going to be a big showdown, but the EU must ultimately give way, because otherwise Greece will be forced to leave the euro, and that would be humiliating for the European Union. One reason is that Greece would probably do rather well outside of the euro, so they must buckle over and give in to Mr. Tsipras' demands. Otherwise, there will be more political conflicts and really a break-up of the single currency. However, if they do indeed allow for a further restructuring of Greek debt, then other countries such as Italy and Spain will say, we want to have a relaxation of the austerity regime as well. And then the cycle will spread, and there could indeed be further conflicts between southern Europe and the German-led eurozone.
Mr. Oulds, the new finance minister is known to be quite anti-bailout. Through his press conference, we understand he will be visiting his counterparts in France and Italy, but no mention of Germany. Is there an issue between Greece and Germany here?
Very much so, yes. The Germans are really quite behind the austerity programme. They've been largely enforcing it upon Greece and indeed other eurozone states such as Italy, which also has severe economic problems. So there is a clear divide emerging between the southern Europe, which has suffered a great deal as a result of single currency membership, and of course the austerity programme, whereas Germany has been largely enforcing that upon those countries. But it's created economic harm, and it's created real divisions in Europe, and it's led to new emerging parties, not just in Greece, which the Syriza party has taken power, but also in Italy and Spain. There's new anti-austerity protest parties that have come to the fore. And so this is just the beginning of what is, in a sense, a political revolution against EU-led austerity and, of course, further integration in Europe. Things are really beginning to change.
Mr. Oulds, just moving on slightly, the Greek financial markets have suffered immensely today, we understand. Do you see that picking up over the next couple of days as the investors sort of digest the new cabinet changes?
Well, markets often are volatile, and often there's sudden movements in terms of up and down within the value of stocks and shares. That's part of the often manipulation of financial markets. Often they will end up at a medium point between two extreme fluctuations. But what we're seeing shouldn't really be of worry. There, of course, is uncertainty, and markets do not react well to uncertainty. We do not know exactly what the new terms of Greece will be as yet. But what we can say is that if Greece carries on as it is, then their economic problems would only get worse, because the debt-to-GDP ratio is now at 177%, unemployment is still alarmingly high, and they're in deflation. And once a country gets into a deflationary trap, it finds that economic growth is very hard to come by, and, of course, debt gets even worse. So really, there has to be a significant change if Greece is to have any hope. If the Greek people are to get back to work, then they must have a radical change of economic policy, and that's something that Syriza will deliver. So in the long term, the market should be happy, because at the moment, all there is just more grinding pain that have caused a lot of damage for a lot of people in Greece and even in southern Europe, like Italy, Spain and Portugal. Even France is suffering.
Right. We're just going to have to leave it there. Robert Oulds, political analyst, thank you very much for your time.